Welcome to the Broker's Table. I'm Esther Jackson Stoll. And today, listen, I have been looking forward to this conversation for a very long time. My guest today is someone I don't just admire from a distance. I've watched this woman build. I've seen what happens behind the Instagram post and the magazine covers. I've been in the rooms where she's working when nobody's watching. And I can tell you, what she's done is not normal. What she's done is extraordinary. Tunisha Brown is the founder and editor-in-chief of the Impact Magazine, a publication she started in 2007 in Trenton, New Jersey, with 75 readers and 0 sponsors. Today, that magazine reaches over 200,000 people monthly. She's built a television network on Amazon. She's been in Essence, O Magazine, Time Magazine, on BET, on Nasdaq, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Meta, Comcast. They all partnered with her. Citibank named her a woman to watch. Utah Business put her on their 30 women to watch list. And her magazine, The Entire Archive, now sits in the University of Utah's Marriott Library alongside institutional collections. She did all of that after moving to Salt Lake City from Atlanta during a pandemic as a single mother. And she self-funded every bit of it for 11 years before a single corporate dollar came through the door. Tunisha Brown, welcome to the Broker's Table.
Thanks for having me. That was amazing. Go ahead, girl.
Before any of this, you were at Merrill Lynch, almost 9 years. Good career, stability, and then 2009 happened. Bank of America bought Merrill Lynch, and you were laid off. Take me there. What was going on?
Oh, Lord. So that's a great question. Back then, I was just discovering this new purpose, right? I would go into work every day, and by like 10 a.m. I was done because it was easy for me. And my boss, her name's Jennifer Watson, I'll never forget. She didn't care. She was just like, okay, whatever, long as the work is done. And so I never forget, I was sitting at my desk and I was just sitting there, and I felt like I was wasting my life because I'm sitting at my desk, I'm done work, and I have to be here at 5 o'clock. And so it came to me like, so what are you going to do with your life? And the things I started thinking about were, what was I doing at the moment that gave me pleasure, purpose, And at the time, I was doing my church newsletter. And that's the thing that was granting the most fulfillment, And I was thinking about all of the things that people would comment on about it, as far as the graphics and the content, And I was like, you know what? I could start a magazine. Just sitting there, my thought was like, I could start a magazine. And I'm like, I could take this around, everything as far as the possibility just came to me. And I was like, okay, so I took the whole 2007 to research. That's me. I'm going to research. And I'm a Gemini, so that I don't know if people are in astrology, whatever. But
I am. I'm very aware of both Geminis, so I get it.
So it's like it's like we're gonna make sure the thing is the thing. We're gonna check it out and just be sure. And so I did that the whole 2007, and then 2008, 9. President Obama's in,
and you're like, it's time.
And no, I was like, kidding. It was during that time, that's when he was getting everything together. And the bank took over, what is it called? Merrill Lynch. And I'll never forget, I was sitting home, I was on my couch, and I had gotten laid off. And when President Obama was like, we're going to do what we can for the American people. If they're laid off because of these things, we're going to make sure they're good. And I said, amazing. I could take this time and just do what I need to do as far as the magazine. This is my time.
Right.
Because at that time, I had already launched I saw the people wanting what I was putting out, and I understood that content was king, you know? And so I was like, yes, I could do this. So I took my unemployment check, and that was on my way to, trying to figure this thing out, like what would work. As long as my household expenses were taken care of, I was like, oh, we can go. We can go. So I snatched up my son and we moved around the country to launch it. Wow. And that's where it started.
Do you feel like all of that was sort of a blessing in disguise? Had that not happened, around that time, there was a huge crisis in America. And everyone was just like, oh, everything is terrible.
Right.
But sometimes God has a way to like create situations so that it can shift you into your purpose.
Right.
So do you feel that in that instance, you took ownership of your purpose? You identified your purpose.
Right.
Because you knew that where you were at Merrill Lynch, going in and finishing what you were doing by 10 a.m. because you're good. And as Geminis, we get things done.
Right.
And then feeling like you're kind of wasting away. But then God kind of put you in that position where it's like, okay, we're not just going to make you sit at that job anymore. We're going to give you all that space.
Right.
And now you have to create something and fall into your purpose.
Yeah, that was a great time, and I knew God had given me that time. And that time lasted 5 years.
Wow.
I took full advantage of it. Like, people were offering me jobs and everything, and I'm like, no, because I knew this was the time that I would have to be able to build. And so, I took it. I took complete advantage of it, and I learned so many things around, during that time.
Wonderful. And one of the other things that you talked about was you did your research. Oftentimes people, there's so many opportunities out there, and everyone, like, it's every day. There's always something.
Right.
But you took the time to delve into this path, to do your research. And I remember in one of our conversations, you've talked about how you've reached out to people that were already in that field.
Right.
And just said, hey, how do you do this?
Right.
And that's one of the beautiful parts of being an entrepreneur is being able to get out of your comfort zone and ask questions and consult the experts and then turn it into something that you have and build from there. So it's really impressive to see that you've done that.
Yeah, well, it was a guy in my neighborhood named Darren Morris. He had a magazine, a newspaper magazine, so it was the fold-out kind, like the New York Times. And he talked about the goodness that was in our neighborhood, and from graduations, who got a job, and it was a money maker for him. And I'm like, oh, he was doing that, and he's doing good. Oh, wow. And he's telling our stories. And so I never forget, I reached out to him. Plus, I knew him, and I'm like, I need to know about this business. I'm thinking about doing a magazine. I said, not like yours. I said, mine will focus on Black people all over, and it will be a traditional magazine, not a newspaper. And from that moment, I learned two things. Never be in fear about someone else doing something like you're doing. Because the first thing he said was, let's set up some time. Come on to my office. And he sat me down, and he gave me the game. It wasn't like he was just like, oh no, I don't have time and she's trying to take over what I'm doing. He was secure enough in his spot where he was like, come on over here. And he sat me down and he gave me the blueprint of just things to look out for, where to go, advertising, and just a plethora of information for this business. And then 2 weeks, I don't even think it was 2 weeks later, he died. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I've never heard that. Yeah. You tell me that. That's incredible.
He died.
That is so interesting, because one of the things that I always tell people that when people talk to me is, I want to share all the information I have, because first of all, there's Google.
Right.
Someone will figure it out. And now we have AI and ChatGPT. People will figure it out.
Anything.
So there's no point of you like hoarding information.
Right.
And then when people usually get concerned with, well, I don't want you to do what I'm doing because you're going to cut into my profit.
Right.
There's over 8 billion people on Earth.
Right.
You will always have a customer. You will always have your profit. You will always have your portion.
Right.
And so being concerned with what someone else is doing or trying to be part of your stuff is just not the greatest place to be.
Right.
But if you have that confidence, know that, hey, there's so many other people on earth.
Right.
Someone will see my stuff. Someone
Right.
will appreciate this. And I'm glad that you had someone do that for you.
Yep.
And it's so amazing because one of the things that I also think about is if I hoard this information, if I hoard this knowledge, I could die tomorrow.
Right.
Someone will still figure it out.
Right.
But how wonderful would it be that now you have him and you can still speak his name.
Right.
And his
Everywhere I
name will live
go.
on forever because of what he did for you, because he did not hoard that information,
Right.
because he shared with you and he showed you the way.
Right.
So thank you for being that example of letting people know that it's okay
Right.
to share.
Right.
And just know that even if, another thing that I tell people is they can take whatever I'm doing, but they'll never be me.
Never.
Ever be me. So that
And
that information,
you've seen enough folks.
absolutely. And I think
like,
that's why it's easy for me to support you in what you're doing, and because we need that for one another.
Right.
Is you're doing something that I love. I could possibly do it, but I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to
right.
because that's not my purpose.
Right.
This is your purpose, and you're doing it extremely well.
Thank
and I
you.
get to benefit from that.
Right.
Because I can now bring people over and say, hey, come be a part of this thing. Come see what
Right.
Tunisha has done today.
Right.
Come see what she's doing, because you might benefit from that as well.
Right.
So I'm glad that you have that and you're able to now be that for other people.
Yes.
So thank you so
yes.
much for that, Tunisha.
Thank you.
So during this time too, you were a single mom and you were getting ready to bet everything on your purpose. What did people think about you doing that, and how did it impact your son?
I didn't consult people because that's not me.
That's not the Gemini way.
Nope.
I
But
will
what I
consult
did-
my Google search.
Right. But what I did do, before I initially launched the magazine, I did speak with like my family, my friends. I did go to them to see, first of all, to get family support, because I have very great support system with my family, and went to my friends to see, because everyone I was around was so talented. And I'm like, do you want to be down? Like, either you're going to get, I'll never forget I said this, you're going to get on the merry-go-round and go around with me to this thing, or you don't have to get on, or you can hop off at any time, because this is my dream, and I know that you are connected in some way, but might not be all the way, you know. But when I decided to like go around the country and move and all that kind of stuff, I didn't consult anybody. I didn't want to hear someone tell me, you should think about this. Maybe no, because I'm just like, I didn't want to hear that. And I didn't even discuss it with my son. And that's one of the things as a parent, now that my son is older, that I wish I would have set my son down, because he was young. He was like 9 years old. And I based a lot of things on my growing up and how I adjusted and how I was okay. But I didn't base it on my son being the only child, my son not having, people close to him at a time to share and do and take his mind off of, we're going to be living here for a year and then move somewhere else another year and then move so those are the things I think back on in building this thing, that if I could give anyone advice, is to look at your children and think about the consequences are not just for you. They are for your children also. But I'll never forget, it was a certain point in my son's life, he came and he got it. And we talked about, he understood the sacrifices. He didn't like it, but he understood it. So yeah, and at that time, I looked at the opportunity, and I knew that I could not lay around and wait for this world to decide that it was going to be good to me, as far as like taking care of my son, making sure I have somewhere to live, and not having to worry about if the government shuts down and I get my unemployment check. I just couldn't do that. I'm like, I have a son and he's growing and he needs these things. And so I was just like, okay, we're going to go. And I packed up my stuff, what I could. I got in my car. And the first place I went to was North Carolina. And once I got there, I got a place, and I was like, okay, I'm going to stay here. I called back home to my sister, and I was like, oh, I'm not coming back to that apartment. Y'all could take everything out of there, and you can have it. And, yeah. And my brother went there, moved my stuff, gave my stuff to my, I'm not attached to things.
You're not attached to things at all.
So,
and which is a beautiful thing,
like,
because that's huge. And I like that story because it's an opportunity for people to, because everyone wants to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but they don't understand the intricate parts of being an entrepreneur.
Right.
And it's knowing things like that
Right.
you may have to move, that you may have to stand on purpose and really follow that to like the end of the earth with it.
You might have to sleep on couches. Like I slept on couches. I slept in the bed with my friend who let me stay at her house. It's like, and my son slept on her couch, And so it's just things that we have to sacrifice. And thinking through, my son didn't understand that. I grew up like that, but my son, I was working at Merrill Lynch. I had money. You know what I mean? I had a great job, that, nice car. He had a nice house, motorcycle, all that kind of stuff. So he understood that life. He didn't understand the sacrifice. So, that's why I tell people, you have to think about the consequences your children will go once you do a 180 and you're like, okay, now we're going this way. Kids looking at you like you're crazy.
You mentioned how young he was, and there's a tendency in our culture to just assume that like they just have to do what we tell them to do.
Right.
So you don't need to explain.
Right.
And which is something that I'm taking a different approach with my family.
Right.
And it's different.
And I love that.
Well,
I love it,
but
because
it's excess talking, because I see the need for it.
Right.
And your stories are like one of those things that teach me to say you have to involve them. You have to just, even if they don't fully understand.
Right.
But the fact that they are aware, they have an awareness of what's happening.
Right.
And that life isn't just happening to them, but they're a part of it.
Right.
Then it makes a difference. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
That I'll let you know in about 20 years.
I think they will be the better for it, because I didn't start talking to my son until my mom told me. My son was about 12, 13. And I began to talk to him about the sacrifices, about all of the stress. And then I'm like, oh, Lord, this is too much for a 13-year-old, But learning to, like, you understand you understand each of your children. You understand who can take what and who can't. At the time, I'm trying to build a business. I'm trying to make sure I was in survival mode. And all my thought was to survive each day, and that was it. It wasn't, I didn't think about, well, sit down, you have to talk to him. You got to get an understanding of why he's acting out in school. Girl, you just move from having a luxury car, now you getting rides with people. Like, he's looking at you like, what is going on? Where's the crack? Because this lady
something has happened.
Something is happening.
Totally
and
happened.
it must be something detrimental, like drugs or something. Yeah. And no, it was purpose. The one thing I used to always tell him is that this is going to work out. This is going to work out. I know it is. And,
because you believed in yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely believed in yourself. And to credit you, you were also thinking of him.
I was,
because it needed to work out in order for you to take care of him.
Right.
In order for you to show him what was possible, what was possible for a single black mom.
Right.
Getting everything done by herself. So I hope he sees that,
We need to have him up here and find out.
We will. So at this time, it is not easy. You're starting off, and which is what a lot of entrepreneurs feel at the beginning. You have your end goal in mind, but your end goal and the finances are not coming as quick as your dream, wishes for it to be.
Right.
How did you manage that? And you talked about how you basically finance this process. Sponsors came later on.
Right.
Walk me through what you were feeling, what you were doing to get by, to keep your hope up, and to keep your focus on your purpose.
As long as I had that unemployment check, I was fine. Because my thought was, as long as I could take care of home, I'm going to be fine. And so that's why I moved first to North Carolina, somewhere that was cheaper than New Jersey. And I was able to do what I could do there. And then my son's father reached out for me to come to Atlanta. And so I, of course, researched. I lived in Atlanta when I first had gotten out of high school, but that was on some,
We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. But now I'm a parent, so I had took my son and we drove down there and to see, if it was possible. That's me. Anywhere I'm like, is it possible for me to be here? And I saw a young lady that I knew lived there, and she was telling me about the apartments and everything. And so I'm like, okay, I could do this. And so I went, got an apartment. It was cheaper than in Atlanta than North Carolina. And so once,
really?
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, bigger and cheaper. And so I was like, okay, I knew if I had gotten to Atlanta, things were just going to work. I had saw how niche Black magazines were making it happen, and I'm like, oh my gosh, has to be the place. I'll be able to make all this money, and I'm just gonna be, living it up. And so I left North Carolina and moved to Atlanta. And when I had gotten there, now I'm doing all of this on unemployment. This is not like I'm getting all of this money from advertising it. No, this is all my money on unemployment, trying to figure this thing out. Wow. And so during that time, that is when it just happened so much. When I went to Atlanta, that was a whole different game as far as like niche media, where they were like, it was Derek Blanks coming on to the scene. He started being on the Housewives, and Derek Blanks is a renowned photographer. He does some amazing stuff, and at the time he has started his alter ego photography, where it's like you as this one thing in your alter ego in a picture. And so I'm seeing all of this, and like Atlanta media was on another level. Wow. And so I'm like, okay, more sacrifice has to happen because I have to take this thing up a notch. So in my house, I had a nice dining set. I love furniture. But and my son had a bed. I didn't have a bed. I didn't have a couch. I didn't have all these things. Just the necessity of he can come down when he has to eat and eat at the table. But then go to his room. We had one TV. He had a bed. And it's just like that was it. Because here's more sacrifice that has to happen in order to get these things done. And so that worked for me for a long time of sacrificing and putting every dime into making sure, because the content grabbed the people, but making sure like my graphics and things lined up with the content. And I didn't stop I still financed it, but I never received help from 2007 to 2018. And all of that was my money. And I'll never forget, I had an issue with one of these reality stars in 2014. And I had, now mind you, I have a lawyer, I have every, publicist I was working with. Now, I'm funding all of this at this time with unemployment. And then this mess happened with the the celebrity. And my lawyer was like, I lost like contracts, when I started to get sponsorship. I had lost contracts because of this issue. And my lawyer was like, okay, we're going to sue her for defamation. And she said, look at all your financials, get all these things together, bring it to me so I could see how much you've lost.
You lost.
I was like, at this point, I wasn't even paying attention to how much money I was spending and nothing, right? And so my niece, who, if you know my family, you know all of them love money. Like from my mom, my mom was always a numbers person. And so my sister was in finance, and my niece, I had gotten her a job at Merrill Lynch, and she was always good with like money, numbers, and all that. So I went to her. At this time, she had was starting her tax business, and I went to her and I said, "I need help. I need you to help me figure out how much money I'm spending and all this." So she sat me down, sent me a spreadsheet, told me all of the things, and at that point, good God,
Benjamin, does this sound familiar?
it's like I saw hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like of things I didn't even know I possessed that much money, especially being unemployed. And then whatever I would get in from the magazine, like doing events, because we always did events, like signature things. It went right back into the business. And at points to the detriment of my household. You know what I mean? And
Your
so,
lack of a bed,
right?
lack of a couch, you're on TV.
Normal life. My son is looking at me like, well, I don't see her smoking crack, so what is going on? It's like, what is happening?
It's that natural Gemini high.
It is.
That's all
it's
it
like,
is.
oh, I see something is working over here, so I have to put my all into this. And once I saw that, I was like, oh, wow. It gave me, I think the
Clarity.
word clarity. And I was cognizant of, wow, look what this is doing for you at this level. And you had no clue. So then I had to now be responsible because I see the numbers. I see. But what that did for me was, girl, this thing could work. Just put more money into this.
Working.
You know?
Yes.
It's like put more money into this and more sacrifice. My son is looking like, lady,
Please, no more.
please no more. Even though he was rolling with the punches, you know? And so, I would never forget that. I saw those numbers and my niece was like, oh my God, she couldn't even believe it. Cause this is at this point, hundreds of thousands of dollars from unemployment. And then what we were doing, with the magazine for as the events, mind you, this is not even with advertising, right? Because at this point, I'm just starting to get the magazine to be designed, and my guy Reggie Dupree from New Jersey, Final Draft. We still work together, and he came on board, and I'm like, oh, this is who I need right here. He understood. And he just took the look to a whole nother level. And then I hired Derek Blanks to do all the photography. So now I'm doing all of these things, sacrificing at home, but outside. It's like, I'm going to make sure that we're reputable. We can, if you put us on a shelf, we can sit next to Essence, Ebony, to the ones that I look to find out all the information of how to run this business and how to make things look. And so, yeah, that was a time.
You touched on several topics that I want to let our audience know, because these things are important. You talked, first of all, being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. Secondly, an entrepreneur, when you're running these things, you often don't have time to sit back and reflect to see we're always foresight.
Right.
We're rarely hindsight.
Right.
And this tragedy that you had, this issue that you had, forced you to look hindsight. And then that's when you realized, whoa.
Right.
So again, another blessing in disguise.
Right.
Because it puts you in a place where you now realize,
Right.
I'm definitely doing this.
Right.
And I'm going to do this even bigger.
Right.
And I believe that was at the moment where you chose to scale up.
Right.
Which is the intersection for that kind of separates entrepreneurs from true business people.
Right.
Right? It's that intersection that helps you when you scale up and you can now automate things and make it work for you without you having to do so much legwork.
Right.
So again, like I mentioned, that blessing, the blessings
in all of the things. And the blessing, that was a twofold blessing because it prepared me, number one, to keep the main thing, right? Yeah. I looked at my financials to see that it was working. But then also I began to get celebrity like interviews like it was nothing because content.
Yes.
Even though the graphics wasn't great. The content was king, right? And so when I saw them coming, I knew it was time to level up with the graphics and everything. But then my head, I got big-headed. It was like, oh, they're reaching out to me. Oh, they want to come to my events. Are you serious? And that, when I went through that experience with that celebrity, I'm so happy it happened then because I was growing, getting a name for the magazine and for myself, but I wasn't all the way out there where people knew, and especially in Atlanta. And so what that did was also humble me. So that it's like, you can't allow these people to puff up your head. You are on purpose. You are moving on purpose. This has nothing to do with a celebrity. This has nothing to do with all of this shiny stuff. It has everything to do with the message. And so, and all of the opportunity that will come from this. So that blessing of being humbled in the beginning, now I don't care less about what these people do. It is, if they match up with what I'm doing, and it will help the people, then it's okay. I could be in any room. It does not faze me. And I have been in many, many rooms, been around many, many people. It don't faze me. It is the purpose of how is this going to impact the people.
People see you when you've made it.
Right.
But they don't think about
it took 11 years.
All the years
that
like
I had
you're sleeping
to put
on
in
the couches.
Of thousands of dollars
of your money.
Of my money before anyone gave me $5,000.
Can we just also add the fact that when you've done that and you do make it,
can't nobody tell me nothing.
Thank you. Because that's where people don't understand.
Nope. You
like,
use
listen,
your own. I use
when
my
you approach
own.
me.
Yeah.
Do not talk down to me.
Another.
Do not talk down to me.
Listen.
Because I've been down there.
Right.
And I've climbed I know every single
I sacrificed a
step.
whole lot. That's why
yes.
Call
so
me
because
what
you see this face and I'm all smiling at you, it doesn't mean that I don't know what it took to get here.
Right.
So respect yourself.
Look at me.
And scoot. So please tell our audience what those 11 years looked like and what it felt like when you had that first sponsor.
Oh, wow. So the 11 years came with a lot of, it's a lot of pride, to say it. When I saw those numbers and I'm like, what? I had this much money? Right? And the things that popped up into my mind was, do you know what kind of life you could have had with your child? In all of those, like a normal, like everyday life with your child. That's what, I'm being honest. That's what popped up into my head, just thinking about all the sacrificing. And then I'm like, and then the flip side was, girl, you're almost to your goal. If you just sacrifice a little bit more. And so that right there gave me the 11 years of passion, purpose, sacrifice, gave me the confidence that I can move on to a whole nother level and get it, right? Mm-hmm. It just gives you that stick-to-itiveness, because every event, afterwards, I was like, oh, I ain't doing this no more. They could tell you, my niece could tell you, my son, like, oh, I'm done. I don't want to do it. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. And majority of it, you're doing it yourself because you don't have the funds to hire people. So when that time came for me, I was like, oh my gosh. And when I did get that first sponsor, it came by way through someone that I knew. And we worked with each other, you know, and then I never forget, I knew I was getting chumped off, you know what I mean? Where I wasn't getting the type of money that I was supposed to. But I was so thirsty to get these funds in that I didn't have to spend my own money. I was just like, okay,
something is better than nothing.
Something is because that's survival mode thinking. And that's why I try to tell people right now, if you're going to be an entrepreneur and you don't have a job, stay at your job. If you don't have nothing to go to the next, to keep those funds in, because you make decisions in survival mode that when you're thriving, you won't even think about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I took on those sponsorships in the beginning, and gave them so much more than what I received in funding and in return, not just the funding, but in return. And I did it and it didn't bother me. It don't bother me now, but it was just the knowing that they got more than what, I received. And I was good with that.
Do you think that part of being good with that was because you knew that regardless of what they were getting, you were putting yourself out there and your product will show for itself?
And I was connecting my name
right
to a conglomerate's name.
So some things that may not come, sometimes it's not monetary
right.
Progress,
right?
But it's the connections that you make,
right?
It's the relationships that you build, and that's something that entrepreneurs have to realize.
They have to.
You have to realize that
they have
early on, and just because you have a relationship with someone or you connect with someone doesn't mean that you're always going to get along with them,
right? So
you have to learn to be business oriented and separated from personal stuff,
right?
So I'm glad that you stuck with it. And didn't just let that, because that, again, survival can make you feel that way, like, right. Oh, you're screwing me over,
right?
Right, so fine, right. I won't do this, but you can't have that mindset.
Let me tell you something, because I'm happy you said and not feel a way towards the person who is bringing you in, because this person knew that they had given this one company 50,000, but you want to give me 10. You know what I mean? And I'm bigger than them. But because I'm a Black woman and that I'm just coming out with this stuff, with this magazine, we're just coming on board to be at this new level, and you're going to offer me 10. And then had the audacity to tell me you gave this other company 50, but I didn't.
I feel like sometimes that's just God helping you out.
And
helping you out to be that awareness.
And to be in gratitude.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's what I was. I was in gratitude of it. And I took that good check and did what I was supposed to do with it.
Absolutely.
I didn't say, oh, you gave these people blah. Nope. I was always aware. I was always aware, and I was always grateful. But I knew that I was only doing this in survival mode, because if I was still working for Merrill Lynch and getting that paycheck, I'm like, girl, you crazy.
So tell me, on that note, how does it feel now for you to be able to pick and choose who to sponsor you and who to put out there?
Oh, God, that's a great question, because I am at that moment where I have chosen, right? So, last year we did the event with PBS, the town hall, where it's called Unmuted, and we spoke about menopause and things like that. And going in, I had a lot of people, because it was a partnership with PBS, to come and ask to be on board. And I was very selective, because I'm like, Black women are, Lord, we're a marvel. That's a whole nother story. But what I know is we deal with a lot of things. Like I said, I was in survival mode, and all during this time, I never checked on my mental health, right? It was always stick to it. You're going to make it work and everything. But the mental capacity to build a business, be a single mom, be a Black one, all of those things was into one. And so now, since I am able to pick and choose the partners, I was so happy to partner with Terrace Metrics, who is a behavioral tool to assess, to know and have clarity, right? And so coming on board with me, I'm like, it's solutions based. So it's not just you giving me money, but we are also providing a solution. It's not just you sticking a logo on our stuff. If we can't solve a problem, then we can't do anything. And so what we're doing now is with Unmuted, all of this year, this is how I learned how to utilize the magazine as a force to initiate change. And so what we're doing is, Unmuted is about being aware and being clear. We have so much going on out here in the world, and it's like so much information. But if we are not self-aware of who we are, how we move, and clear on that, we're going to fall for anything that's out here. We're going to believe everything. We're going to look at AI and ask it all these questions, and it's not a human, And so if this Terrace Metrics partnership is that. And so I'm so grateful that now I am thriving, that I could see the partnerships and see that it's more than a check. See that you can really make change in those partnerships.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest things that I love, because the work that we are planning to do is, all we want to do is make sure you're clear. Take this assessment, and that's why the assessment is at a very low cost, like $25, because it's like, I want you to make sure when you walk outside of your door, you are clear and firm on who you are aware, and that nothing that flows with the wind can come past you to get past you, and you don't have a thought of self. Absolutely. And so now when I tell people about partnerships, sponsorships, let it, even celebrity stuff, let it come to you and give you an understanding of how you can make change, right? And not just allow it to be a check. The check is amazing. I'm telling y'all, come on board with the checks. But it has to solve a problem. It has to be solution based for me.
Absolutely.
And I'm so grateful that the work that I've grown this magazine to do, instead of just tell a story, we've grown to be initiative based, to where as we're telling the story, we're going to change lives. We're going to impact them, and not just an event to be seen with a celebrity and, taking pictures. It's so much more than that. So much more.
That's beautiful. You talked about Atlanta. Your first stop was Atlanta. Now, second stop. Okay, because it was North Carolina.
Right.
And then Atlanta.
Right.
Now, Atlanta is famous for what?
Black folks.
Okay, now you're in Utah.
Yes.
What is Utah not famous for?
Black folks.
Okay, thank you very much. At the moment, the population count in Utah for Black people, and when I say Black people, I mean African Americans,
right,
is about 1.3%. That's pretty low.
Right.
And it's something that you noticed that there was a huge gap.
Right.
Because just because we're 1.3% doesn't mean that we're not here.
Right. So
how did you see that as an opportunity to make a difference and make an impact on the 1.3% of Black people here in Utah?
Well, I didn't. Lauren Walker, she was the CSO for Young Living here. And they had partnered in 2018. And Lauren flew, and her team, they flew to Atlanta to be shot by Derek Blanks. Oh. And during that time, Lauren, she was getting her hair done, I believe, or we were putting on her clothes or something. And she said, Tanisha, this is amazing, everything you do. Because at that time, I had started the Women of Impact.
Yes.
And they had came to that and met Candy, and we talked about what we did together for that. And so at the photo shoot, she was like, Tanisha, everything you're doing is amazing. How have you ever thought about moving to Utah? You should. And I was like, I'm not coming to Utah. And she was like, why? At first, they had offered me a job, to come there. And I was like, I told you I didn't take a lot of opportunities. And I was like, there ain't no Black people in Utah. My son is looks like a grown man. I'm not going to go through all of that, especially the population and all. So I thought about all of that. And I said, no, I can't move there. And she said, you'll be surprised that the community is very strong. And I was like, okay. She said, come out for Sundance. Now, I've heard of Sundance. Yeah. I've always wanted to do a TV show. So I'm in movies and all that kind of stuff. So I knew about Sundance. And she said, you should come to Sundance and you should come see. And I was like, when is Sundance? And she said, January, February. And I was, I'm not coming to Utah, no January, February. That's why I moved to Atlanta, because it's warmer during that time. And she's like, okay. Oh, man, I will never forget. It's 2019 now. I'm looking at Sundance. Oprah is there, and Ava DuVernay and Wendell Pierce. Like, oh my, Sundance to me, that was the year that I should have went.
Wow.
And I saw Lauren, they were at places where they were doing like so many things. And I was like, see how you messed up this business opportunity talking about Black people not there. Don't do that anymore.
Oprah came.
Oprah
there
was
must
there.
Be Black people here.
Okay. So I was like, I'm never going to miss another Sundance. And so the next Sundance, which was 2020, I came and did a film screening, an indie film on human trafficking. Oh, wow. And so my good friend, Kade Hill, she did the movie from Atlanta. She came here and we did it. And it was like 100 Black folks in there. And I was like, And I was the partnership. Oh, I met William Marks there from Facebook.
Okay.
And he was like, Tanisha, I would love for you to do some work with us. And I was like, okay. And so at that time, I was able to go around and see Utah. And so then I was like, So then I did the partnership with Facebook. It was during the pandemic. Right after the event, I had to fly to LA. And I was like, I already had in my mind that it was time for me to go from Atlanta. And I was like, I could fly to LA in like an hour.
Right.
Okay. I was like, okay. So I was filming my my TV show. So I flew over there. We did the interview with Garcelle from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Vanessa Simmons. So I was able to do all those interviews and fly back to Utah the same day.
This is not bad.
I was like, okay. And so I was like, my team was able to fly to LA. And then I was like, So I came back. And so I went over to where I live at. I was like, let me just see what this looks like.
Yeah.
And I went and I was like, oh, okay. All right. I'll give it a try.
Wow.
But when I came here, I still kept my place in Atlanta because I didn't know if
Just in case. I cannot find those 100 Black people that showed up.
Listen, I need them to show up all the time. And so I understood what Lauren was saying when she said that there was a need.
There is a need.
Not a need for Black people to do things because they were already doing things, but it was for it to be known on a national level of the stories of the people who were here, and to bring what we do far as the Women of Impact that people love that we do here, and to bring that dynamic here and to honor the Black people here in such a grand way. It's one of the things that I couldn't wait to bring here. So it's been that kind of journey here. I was going to leave 50 million times, but I decided to stay, and it's been a good journey.
So one of the reasons, and I tell you this all the time, and I share this with everyone that I meet, one of the reasons why I love and support Tunisha is because she was able to do something that it took me 10 years to do here in Utah, which was to find my tribe, build a tribe, build a camaraderie of people that look like me, that talk like me, that think and feel the same way that I do at times, And you did that within a year of being here. And I remember walking to your event, and I will say this again many, many times, walking into her event, and it felt like I was going to church. I was going to church back in the Bay Area of California, where there was a lot of faces that were familiar. The hair was all familiar, everything about it. And it was such a beautiful moment that I absolutely wanted to support. And I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I just knew that whatever you were doing, that you had the Midas touch, and that I wanted to see it grow, because that was the first time I had seen that many Black people in a room.
Right.
And I'd been here many times for over 10 years at that point.
That's crazy.
And so that was just so impressive to me. I wasn't even supposed to be there that night.
Right.
I'm a very homebody.
Right.
And I showed up because I was given a ticket from the mayor's office, and I just showed up and didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And it blew me away.
Oh.
And so that's something that I want to keep going and to keep being shared, because there are more people coming in, and there are more people that we still haven't met yet, that need to be in that position. They need to be seen.
Right.
And I have seen you celebrate wonderful women, so humble, so humble. And they would have been fine just being in their little corner for the rest of their lives and doing their superb thing in their little corner and never being recognized. But the fact that you brought them out, I feel, has given them value that's beyond what they would have ever dreamed of. And it's given them an opportunity to realize that, hey, what you are doing here is absolutely extraordinary. And other people need to see that so that they can also see themselves in you and know that they too can do it. And it's important. So it goes back from that initial point of you wanting to highlight people in your neighborhood, highlight people in different cities, highlight people that are doing extraordinary things, but in in their own little spaces, but then you're making them be known. So thank you for that. Thank you for coming to Utah. And all your events have been just absolutely wonderful. Because you bring the luxury that we love. You bring the luxury that we expect. You bring the luxury that we didn't have to drive too far to get. It's here. And it's okay to enjoy that.
And it's okay for us to have it.
Our way.
Yes, our way. I grew up.
And there's nothing wrong with our way.
Nope. I grew up where my family celebrated. They're going to crack up, but I grew up where my family celebrated my cousin going to jail. We celebrate, and we had a full dinner, plates, everything. My family just did things different, and if you would have met my mom, she just moved in a certain kind of way. She had to have a certain kind of thing. And I had gotten that from her. I grew up in entertainment. My aunts, my cousins, my aunts own, and my mom, restaurant stores. My cousins own clubs. So I've been around celebrities and stuff all of my life, right? And so and then moving to Atlanta gave me that insight of, oh, they do it for real here. So it was a certain kind of level you had to be at for people to, number one, buy a ticket to come, and then to keep coming. And Atlanta, just what I grew up with and then what I saw there made me, level up a whole nother level. So when I came here to Utah, I was already doing those things in Atlanta, in New Jersey. So it was nothing for me to come here and hit the ground running.
But it was everything for us to
right,
experience.
And
nothing
it's like,
for you, but everything for us to experience.
But what I'm saying is nothing for me to give, because that's why it seems like it's over the top or something, because it's within me. It's something that I know. And
I don't feel like it's
love.
over the top. I feel like it's perfect. It's necessary. It's needed.
Yeah.
And
I believe
every event is always
it.
different.
We deserve
Yes,
it. Why not?
we do.
Why
We
we
do.
can't have? Well, and it is. I don't care if we're just coming to sit and hear a conversation.
Yep.
It's going to be a pretty conversation.
Yes.
We're going to have some great food, some good drinks.
Absolutely.
And it's just going to be a vibe, because that's who we are. And that's what we deserve. It doesn't matter.
It's the Black culture, and it's
Listen,
beautiful.
Yes.
So last October, you reached out to me and let me know that you were going to honor me and 6 other wonderful women. And I remember when I got that email, I initially thought, no, Tunisha, I don't need to be honored. I just want to keep supporting you to keep doing these things. And I remember your response was like, no, I'm honoring you, and you're just going to have to show up. And I thought, you know what? Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I'm okay being behind the scenes for the rest of my life. And in the same, and it was also beautiful because those 6 women, we were all the same way. We were okay being behind the scenes and just doing our thing. But what you do and continue to do is to let women, let people, let the Black people in Utah know that you have to be seen by others, because it is important. Because especially here, when there's not a lot of us, someone needs to know that we're here, we exist, and that we're doing great things. But one thing that I also found in that group of women that were honored alongside with me, along with them, was that we all shared this sisterhood. That it was just, we had just met. I had just met them.
Right.
But there was a commonality that felt so like we'd known each other for a long time.
Right.
The impact Black women experienced drew women nationally to Utah, with J.P. Morgan, doTERRA, World Trade Center Utah, and Strong & Haney as sponsors. Danielle Wright, J.P. Morgan's managing director for Utah and Idaho markets, attended specifically to understand the needs of Black women business owners. This is community building converting into institutional investment. I want to go somewhere different now. I'm a woman of faith, and I came to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from Nigeria, and my faith is the foundation of every single thing I've built. ECHOT, my family, my service work, this podcast. I know you walk in faith too. I hear it in the way you talk about timing, about doors opening, about purpose. So let me ask you this. When you look back at the layoff from Merrill Lynch, the decade of self-funding, the pandemic move to Utah, the partnerships that came out of nowhere, do you see a hand at work that you couldn't see in the moment?
I'm always aware of the hand. Always aware of the hand daily, because I know where I came from. I know that a lot of the things that took place in my life was not of my own recognition, So I've always recognized the hand. always, even when I was a child. It was crazy growing up in my household. But I always understood the hand because my mother knew the hand. You know what I mean? So I was always able to see because she's always like, oh, if it's God's will. So if it don't work out, then it's not the will of God. You know what I mean? So I've always had that and still do have it, working throughout my life. It is not of my own. I know that myself. So when I get into my own way, I get a tap on the shoulder like, the hand. Back a little bit. Move to the side, go, so it's always there.
Throughout this podcast, I believe that you've mentioned several moments where you've had, like, the hand has come in to kind of slow you down where, let's say, pride was taking over your purpose, the focus. Right. And then kind of bringing you back to always stay on that purpose. One thing that you mentioned one time at one of your, this is when University of Utah placed your magazine into their archives. And I remember what you said, and it was, if you have ever doubted God, watch me.
Right.
And that stood out to me till today, and probably for the rest of my life. That really stood out to me because it helped me understand. And it is the same way that I walk, that everything that we do is not by our doing.
Right.
And when we stay focused on God,
right,
He will truly help us walk in our purpose.
Right.
And just let it fall into place the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And in our friendship, we've seen moments where maybe something came up and you wanted to go that route, and you see how God comes back and says, nope, that's not for you. Do this instead.
Right.
And what I've loved about your story, Tunisha, from packing up and going to North Carolina, from packing up from there and going to Atlanta, from packing up from there and coming to Utah, you have always listened to His voice. Yeah. And you've always done things at His time, and you've trusted. You have trusted. And that's something that's very impressive to me. And it's something that aligns with who I am. And it's probably one of the reasons why I stay close to you, because it isn't just about you going out and doing these things. It's you realizing who is in control. Right. And that's something that a lot of people often don't realize. It isn't you. It isn't me. It is Him. Right. And if He wills it, it will come to fruition. Will come. And if not, you have so many times shown me patience. And you probably think I'm not made. I know. You probably
I have a little.
I know. We do have a little patience. But when it comes to God,
right,
there's something that you're just like, you know what? I'm not going to react right now.
Right.
I'm just going to sit back and let Him show me the way. Right. And He always does. Yeah. Every time. Yeah. Never late, always on time. Right. But more importantly, you recognize that when that happens. Right. And you let it be known. And that's why I loved that speech that you gave that day, where it was very simple statement. If you've ever doubted God, watch me. Right. And I'm still watching you. Aww. And we're still here. And I'm grateful that we've had the opportunity to get to know one another over these years. And I'm grateful to see you continue in your journey, in your purpose. And I look forward to seeing where your purpose will take you. I will be riding along with you and showing up at your events and letting people know that this is what you should support, because it is important. You're doing great things for not just me, but for a lot of other people that look like us in a place where us is very little, but we're enough to be impactful. And that is what you're sharing with the world. So thank you for coming to Utah.
Well, thank you.
Don't leave anytime soon.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. I always tell you, make this home and travel and go do it everywhere else, but make this home, because it is truly a beautiful place. I'm just going to give a shout out to Utah there, because Utah is truly a beautiful place. I was talking to someone the other day and they said, yeah, just don't tell anyone else. And I thought, too late.
Too late.
It is a beautiful place.
It is. And
I'm here. She's here. Yeah. And there's a whole lot more that look like us that are here and that are doing great things.
Yeah. And I just want to say, I thank you for even persisting, to reach out and everything, because I think when you reached out, that's when my mom was going through her cancer journey right before she passed away. So it was good for you to reach out and also watch and be involved and be a partner in a majority of everything that we do. So that is amazing. And also, I'm grateful for the doors that have opened up from me coming here and showcasing Black people, letting their stories be known, and allowing companies to come and partner and be a part of that experience. Also, being one of the people to where now other people, not big corporations, doing things for Black people, but it is the community outside of the big Black organizations, but everyday people are being confident in doing their own events and celebrating and doing the things the way that they know that we love. So I'm happy to have come here and to shine a spotlight on this space and bringing that comfortability where people are comfortable now, where they can do it and they feel like, because when I came and I began the Impact Black Women experience, it was at a period of time where Black women didn't feel psychologically safe in Utah. So to see the strides within the 5 years I've been here, to see all of this development, I am so happy and a proud mama.
Well, thank you for coming in.
And with you, look at you. I'll never forget. When I first met her and met you, and I kept saying, ma'am, you need to be doing blah, 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 and to see you walking in this path and for people to feel your presence, feel your warmth, and for you to come on and allow people to see this portion of yourself is exactly what I was saying you needed to do. Because you and your story is just amazing.
We all have wonderful
stories.
stories.
Yeah. And so many people can be enlightened from that and empowered. So I'm grateful you were able to share your story with me, because she's on the cover of the magazine. And so
2 covers.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
2. Come on now, boo.
First magazine ever. So thank you for giving me that platform.
Okay, yes, 2 covers. I just recognized. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah. And I remember a cousin of mine saw the cover and they're like, ooh, Esther. And I just thought, yeah, it's cute.
It's so nice. Yes. But all the pictures so now, because at the I didn't even pay attention that you was on 2. But even from the first cover to this last one, just the change in you can see it. I'm looking at it in my brain and you can see the difference. And it's like, okay, I see that. Okay.
Utah is definitely has been a place of growth for me. It has been a place of refinement.
Yeah.
And it's a place that it's allowing me to truly raise our kids the way that I feel is best. And so I will always credit just moving here again, following the spirit, and just saying, you know what, just go. So it's great. Thank you for being a part of that journey.
Yes, and thank you for being a part of mine.
All right, before I let you go, we're doing rapid fire.
Okay.
Short answers. Okay. Don't think too hard.
Okay.
Ready?
No.
Too late. We're doing it.
Okay.
What is the best spot in SLC that gives you East Coast energy?
The Edison House.
Utah winters, adjusted or still traumatized?
I'm from Jersey. I didn't even have to adjust. It's just a way of life.
Okay. Atlanta food or Utah food? Pick one, no diplomacy.
Why are you asking me this question? You already know it's Atlanta.
One song that carries you through the hardest work days?
Anything by Robert Glasper.
Okay. Your business superpower, one word.
Impact.
Good job. Good call. Biggest lie people believe about Black women in business?
I can't curse.
No, you cannot.
Say that again so I could get it in
What
my
is the
mind.
biggest lie people believe about Black women in business?
What is the biggest lie people believe about Black women? Girl, I don't know what people believe about
Because
Black.
we're not thinking about what people
I
think.
don't even think I can't even answer that
That's
because I
sad.
have no clue.
Most Utah thing you've had to explain to somebody back home.
Fry sauce.
Yes. Okay, now, which is interesting because that's the next question. Fry sauce, yes or no? And be honest, your New Jersey card depends on it.
It depends on the day.
You can have dinner with one Black woman, living or gone. Who?
Susan L. Taylor.
Oh.
Yeah.
If Impact Magazine was a song, what song would it be?
Encore by Jay-Z.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. Okay. All right, last two, and I want you to take your time with these.
Okay.
It's 2036, 10 years from now.
Okay.
Where is Impact Magazine?
I hope in Aruba land on the beach somewhere. I think that's the truth. Wait a minute.
Did you say Aruba?
Yes.
Aruba lying. Okay.
Lying on the beach somewhere. Retired and allowing someone else to carry the torch.
I love that. If you could sit across from your 25-year-old self before Merrill Lynch, before Impact, before any of this, and tell her one thing, what would it be?
Wait, my 25-year-old self, I was at. Wait a minute, no, I wasn't. I was pregnant. Okay, go ahead. All right, Go ahead. I had to think back to where I was. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If you could sit across from your 25-year-old self before Merrill Lynch, before Impact, before any of this, and tell her one thing, what would it be?
You can do anything you put your mind to it. Figure out your purpose and go for it.
Absolutely. Tunisha,
Sorry.
no coughing allowed.
I know, right? Okay.
This water. Oh, but you have your specific water.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I am a. Oh,
Tunisha.
Lord, we're not even going to get into that.
Tunisha.
Yes, dear.
Thank you. Not just for this conversation. Thank you for what you've built in the state.
Oh.
For me, for my children, for every Black woman and girl who will come to Utah and find an infrastructure that exists because you decided to stay. The impact you've made is real. It's archived. It's permanent. And sister, it's just getting started.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, can you tell me a few things that Impact has coming up this year? It is 2026.
It is 2026. As I spoke about earlier, I'm really, really excited about the partnership I have with Terrace Metrics. The work that we're going to do as to allowing women to become clear. All of these things that have unfolded in this world, and 300,000 Black women losing jobs like that, and so many things taking place with us where a lot of us are shifting into menopause. A lot of us are business owners. It's so many facets to us as women. And this partnership with Terrace Metrics is really going to do a lot of work with bringing awareness to yourself. Like it's so much distraction that's going on outside. But I believe if we pay attention to who we are, being clear on ourselves, we'll know what to do. And so this year, Impact has dedicated like all of our issues to that. This month, we just released our latest cover with Dee Dee McGuire on it. She's Radio Hall of Fame. And we're speaking about her voice and allowing herself to be heard, and then losing herself in that, and then becoming self-aware and finding that. And so I'm so excited to bring the stories of people that a lot of people know, and then stories of people that some people don't know. But it's all about being clear and aware, and for people to come on board. And if they want to be involved and want to, join the community, to being aware. I ask everyone to first take the assessment and see, and it's not just them taking the assessment and then they go about their business. But they can take the assessment.
Baseline.
It's a baseline. That's the beginning. And if you feel as though you need further help, then the partnership with Terrace Metrics, we go another level, with them. They provide videos, reading material, and then we go another step if you want some of the psychologists to reach out to you. So it's all depends on the person, but you have to be aware of yourself to know what you need. And that's what I've dedicated this year to. So not a lot of galas, but we are doing the Men and Women of Impact Juneteenth here. Yes. And then we started, there's no journalistic type of news out there for Black media. Legacy media like the New York Times, they are just like destroying themselves. And so I'm ushering impact into that New York Times, Washington Post type opinion, editorial type work. And so we just finished filming that. Okay. But that's where we are, and I'm so excited about it. But being purpose driven, and so.
Well, I'm excited for this year, and I'll be in the corner.
Yes.
Like, this is amazing. That's the Broker's Table. I'm Esther Jackson Stoll. Until next time, build bold, build with purpose, and build for the ones coming after you. Thank you for joining me at the Broker's Table. If today's conversation inspired you, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. I'm Esther Jackson Stoll. Until next time, keep brokering faith, family, and freedom.